Hi guys, this is Ashley back with another reading, okay? This reading is about Nicki Minaj. Is this the end for Nicki Minaj? Now I know she popped out at the Little Baby Lil Durk concert, but people are still talking about what happened earlier this week or in the middle of the week with, Jen, the victim speaking out on the real. People are, still saying negative things about Nicki Minaj on social media, even though, I think people sometimes just be saying certain things, but they really don't feel that way because the love that Nicki receives when she steps out on stage is just unmatched. But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on post notifications. And let's start off with this. How did Kenneth and Nicki Minaj feel about Jen speaking out on the real? How did Nicki Minaj and Kenneth feel about Jennifer speaking out on the real? Nicki Minaj and Kenneth, how did they feel about Jen, the victim, speaking out on the real, doing an interview on the real? Okay, so we have the Queen of Swords in reverse. That talks about somebody that's bitter, cold-hearted, mean, okay, vile. Okay, so that's how, Nicki feels about Jen. She feels like, that Jen is kind of cold-hearted, kind of mean. We also have the the Empress card. That talks about codependency, not being able to kind of do things on your own. So she feels like there's people helping Jen. Okay, she doesn't feel like, Tyrone or whoever the lawyer's name is was able to make a phone call and get on the rail. She kind of feels like there was somebody, giving Jen and Tyrone that opportunity that doesn't like Nicki. That's how she feels. We also have the Three of Swords. That talks about heartbreak, okay? It broke her heart. The Eight of Cups in reverse, that talks about trying one more time. So she kind of feels like, Jen is going to do whatever she can to get money from her, okay? And then the Two of Pentacles, that talks about, reprioritizing, going into a different direction. So it seems as though Nicki had plans on kind of doing things a certain way, but it kind of makes her want to step her A game up. Now she's kind of thinking long term, like, am I going to let my career end like this? Okay. So it kind of gave her an awakening. Okay. Let's see. What's the next question that I had? Because I kind of wrote them down. Let's see. What was the next question? Let's see. Okay, so what's the energy around Nicki Minaj's 5th album? That was the next question. What is the energy around Nicki Minaj's 5th album? What is the energy around Nicki Minaj and her 5th album? This popped out the Page of Cups. What is the energy around Nicki Minaj and her 5th album? Okay, so the Knight of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles in reverse, that talks about somebody that's obsessed with wealth. So she's worried about her finances, okay? She's trying to prepare for the future. The Page of Cups, that talks about collaborations, okay? So she's working on music. She's working on collaborations, being creative, trying to step it up from the Queen album. So she wants to improve from the Queen album. And then we also have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. that talks about unpaid debts, okay? So she's trying to get out of her contract, okay? I know she talked about working on a label. She's really trying to get out of her contract with Republic. And then the Knight of Swords is here. That talks about driven to succeed. So she's trying to make this era the best era possible, okay? So she's working on strategically trying to, maneuver with little to no controversy. Even though it really hasn't been working, she's trying to do so. Okay, let's see. What was the next question? So it seems as though she's still working on the 5th album. She wants it to be successful, like I said before, and she's working on some collaborations. Will Nicki Minaj get any more commercial deals? Nicki Minaj, because she hasn't had a commercial deal in a long time. The last one was that Fendi deal, which happened in 2018. So let's see. Will Nicki Minaj get any more commercial deals? Nicki Minaj, will she get any more commercial deals? Okay, so it looks like people do want to work with Nicki Minaj. The Queen of Wands, that talks about when people kind of view you as successful, like they can make money off of you, okay? And then we also have the Emperor card. This talks about excessiveness. This talks about, lack of accountability, okay? Impulsiveness to a certain extent, okay? But the Emperor card also represents people kind of pulling strings behind the scenes. The Devil card, this talks about sexual attraction. So this talks about that case is kind of in the way right now of her getting certain deals. The Devil card, this talks about sex. This talks about, sexuality. I guess you would say like, that case, I can't say the R word, but that case is in the way. We also have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. That talks about bad karma. This is bringing her bad luck. This is bringing her, I guess people kind of looking at her a certain way. And then we have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. That talks about misdirected activity. So it looks like people do want to work with her, but she would have to get the controversy, the scandals, this case out of the way for people to want to, make money with her. They do find her very lucrative, okay? So once that, case gets all settled, that's when the deals will come for Nicki, okay? Because it's kind of hard to ask Nicki to sell a product, even though she has a fan base. It's hard to ask people, hey, buy this product, and we have Nicki Minaj as the face of it. And then people will get offended and say you have her as the face of your product. They have to be mindful of the message that they're trying to send, if that makes sense, okay? Let's see. What was the next question? Okay, so how does Rihanna feel about Nicki Minaj currently? Somebody wanted me to ask that. How does Rihanna feel about Nicki Minaj? How does Rihanna feel about Nicki Minaj? How does Rihanna feel about Nicki Minaj? Interesting. Okay, so we have the 6 of Swords here. That talks about baggage, okay? So she feels like, Nicki carries a lot of baggage. We also have the Ace of Swords. That talks about, lack of growth, okay? So she does feel like Nicki lacks maturity. The Lover's card is here. that talks about, you know, her relationship is getting in the way of things. So she feels like her relationship is getting in the way of certain things. You know, the Six of Cups, that talks about, you know, playfulness, you know, thinking everything's a joke, not taking things seriously. We have the Five of Swords in reverse. That talks about, you know, forgiveness, moving on, past resentment. So, you know, she wants to rebuild her relationship with Nicki Minaj. Okay, so there is the energy of wanting to rebuild. You know, people think that they were like the best of friends before, and they were okay, they were cordial, but they weren't talking every single day. I think people gotta understand friends means like you talk to that person, you know, at least I was saying, like, for me, I talk to my friends, you know, a couple times during the week, okay? It may not be every single day, but if you talk to somebody every once in a while, that's not your friend. That's an acquaintance, okay? A colleague or something like that. That's not a friend. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. This talks about the dark side of wealth, okay? So she feels like, you know, if Nicki doesn't get a hold of her career, you know, she's definitely going to get pushed out even more, okay? So the Ten of Pentacles, that represents the dark side of wealth, okay? Doing certain things to obtain wealth. So she knows how the industry goes. She feels like Nicki, she better get a hold of her career quickly, okay? Because one thing about Rihanna, she will put her career first, okay? ASAP might be second, but that Fenty brand is first. Let's see. Oh, how does Ariana Grande feel about Nicki Minaj? Somebody wanted me to ask that too. How does Ariana Grande feel about Nicki Minaj? Ariana, how does she feel about Nicki Minaj? Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande, how does she feel about Nicki Minaj? Okay, so the Six of Wands finds her to be successful. This talks about public recognition. Then we have the Strength card. Feels like she needs to use a little bit more wisdom. Okay, so Ariana Grande wants her to use wisdom. Then we have the Two of Cups in reverse. That talks about disharmony. We got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. That talks about lack of accountability, lack of growth, lack of potential, hard time moving forward. So she feels like her career is going to continue to take a hit if she doesn't use wisdom. Okay, but we do have the Five of Swords. That talks about resentment. She does hold a little bit of resentment towards Nicki. Okay, feels like she vouches for Nicki. Okay, the energy I'm picking up on is she vouches for Nicki, but she doesn't feel like Nicki has any accountability. It's always like, oh, somebody's kind of doing this to me and I'm not doing anything wrong. She feels like she needs to use wisdom, but she does have love for Nicki Minaj. There is energy of love, and I care about you, the Queen of Cups. That represents, you know, compassion, caring. Like, I care about you, but I want you to do better. Okay? Let's see. How does Drake feel about Nicki Minaj? That's a good one, too. How does Drizzy Drake feel about Nicki Minaj? Aubrey Drake Graham. How does he feel about Nicki Minaj? Aubrey Drake Graham. How does he feel about Nicki Minaj? Wow. This is crazy. So the Death card is here. He feels like Nicki Minaj's career is ending. That's how Drake feels. Drake feels like Nicki Minaj's career is done. Six of Wands in reverse. That talks about private achievement. And he kind of feels like, you know, she puts her relationship above her career. That's how he feels, a private achievement. Like, my home is happy, but my career ain't, okay? We have the Knight of Swords. That talks about driven to succeed. He wants her to be more driven, okay? He wants her to be more driven. And then we also have the Five of Swords in reverse. He's working on forgiving her still. He hasn't fully forgiven Nicki Minaj, okay? So this talks about forgiving moving on, you know, releasing those past resentments, okay, in reverse. So, you know, he still hasn't fully forgiven her. And then we also have the Eight of Swords that talks about negative thoughts, you know, negative talk. So he does feel like she has some low self-esteem. That's how Drake feels. He feels like she lacks self-esteem. That, you know, that's one of the reasons why she could be with Kenny. That's just how he feels. Let's move on from that. What was the next question that I had? Okay. Will there be any more controversy moving forward for Nicki Minaj? Will there be any more controversy moving forward for Nicki Minaj? Will there be any more controversy moving forward for Nicki Minaj? She got some people that she pissed off, okay? Because the Ten of Swords is here in reverse. That talks about people working strategically against Nicki Minaj, trying to sabotage her. You know, she does get in the way of things. You know, it is her fault that she is with Kenny. Okay, nobody told her to be with Kenny. I say that all the time. But it's like people are going to use that to try to ruin her career. The Ten of Swords is here in reverse. That talks about people working strategically. We also have the King of Swords here in reverse. And that talks about a misuse of power. The King of Swords in reverse means misuse of power. People working strategically, pulling strings. You know, I don't believe that Jen got onto the real by herself. Tyrone, you know, he's a 1-star review lawyer. A 1-star, okay? So you telling me a 1-star review lawyer who lost his case with the, you know, the T.I. and Tiny could get on the real by making a phone call? No, somebody is helping them, okay? Then we have the Judgment card here. People judging her, you know, her trying to avoid drama, but people still being critical, avoidance, okay? Ignoring the call. You know, people have been telling her to let go of Kenny. And then we got the Moon card here that talks about fearfulness, anxiety, okay, trying to, you know, take one day at a time. So it does seem like there could be some more controversy, you know, in regards to Nicki Minaj, which could hinder a lot of things. Let's see. Let's see how Irvin feels about Nicki Minaj right now. How does Irvin feel about Nicki Minaj currently? Irvin, Nicki Minaj's ex-manager. How does he feel about Nicki Minaj? How does he feel about Nicki Minaj? Irvin. So the Five of Pentacles, that talks about resisting an inevitable end. So he feels like her career is over. Her career is over. He feels like she is resisting an inevitable end. He also has resentment towards her. The energy I'm picking up on is like, you know, you left me and now look at you. You left me and you ain't doing no better. Okay, that's how he feels. The Judgment card that talks about him being critical of her. Very critical. And then, you know, the Moon card that talks about anxiety and fear again. You know, he feels like she's struggling emotionally. Okay, that's how he feels, you know, that she's struggling emotionally. So let's see. Will this case affect Nicki Minaj's career? Will this case, this current case with Jen, will this, you know, ruin Nicki Minaj's career? Will this ruin Nicki Minaj's career? You know, it's interesting. You know, she has the Ace of Pentacles. That talks about success. It talks about opportunities. It's almost like she still will be able to maneuver. She just has to be smarter. Okay, it's the Ace of Pentacles. That talks about, you know, success. The Strength card is here in reverse. That talks about lack of discipline, lack of wisdom. So she has to use better wisdom and better judgment for her to achieve more success. It's not even necessarily, you know, her being married to Kenny. It's how she maneuvers. I think, like I said before, don't post pictures of him. You know, you're putting him on Front Street for no reason. It doesn't do anything but cause negativity by posting pictures, having people remind themselves, oh, that's the guy that has that case. You know what I'm saying? The Two of Wands in reverse, that talks about stagnation, not being able to move forward, okay? And then we have, you know, the Knight of Swords, that talks about feeling burnt out, you know, eventually giving up. So it looks like Nicki, she eventually will just, you know, give it up and move on to something else. But she does have, you know, the opportunity to be successful. It's just the way she maneuvers, okay? But the controversy. So, you know, success is in her future, okay? Success is in her future. But, you know, this definitely will put a dent in her career. I would say it won't completely end her, but it will put a dent in her career because, you know, people will always look at her the certain way. Like she puts her relationship in front of her 15-year-old career. Okay, that's how, you know, people perceive it. But success is in her future. So she's always going to be somewhat successful. Okay, did I have any more questions? Let's see. What was it? Okay, will we get any more collaborations other than the Jessie Nelson collaboration? Will we get any more collaboration other than the Jessie Nelson collaboration? Will we get any more collaborations by the end of the year other than the Jessie Nelson collaboration? Will we get any more collaborations other than the Jessie Nelson collaboration by the end of the year? Okay, so we do have the King of Cups that talks about manipulation. Okay, so people will be trying to use Nicki, you know, to build their fan bases. The King of Cups that talks about manipulation. We also have the Queen of Cups in here in reverse. That talks about codependency. And then we have the Hangman here in, you know, reverse. That talks about, you know, stalemate, not being able to move forward. The Seven of Swords, that talks about betrayal. And the Chariot card, that talks about willpower. So it's almost like there's people that do want to collaborate with Nicki still, just to kind of build their fan base, which is kind of smart. But it ultimately seems like she's kind of stagnant, like she doesn't really know who she really wants to collaborate with. She's being very picky. It's almost like she still, even if you offer her money, she still might not want to collaborate with you. But there is energy of people reaching out to her, trying to collaborate, okay? It may not be for the right reasons, but they are reaching out, okay? So like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on post notifications. I will see you in the next video, and have an amazing day.